think we are all gathered here today, drawn by this one man who passed away, but who has held us together for a long time and who will hold us together for a long time to come. All of us are shaped by people who precede us, and many of us who are here today were to an extent shaped by Manita. And I'm sure that even the younger people who might not have had a chance to study under him, to interact with him closely, will in the long run find how his legacy was one of the things that shaped them. But I shall not talk about that today, because Indra had asked me to talk about Manita's links with Shantiniketan. Just as many of us have been shaped by him, he was shaped by his encounters with his mentors in Shantiniketan. Of course, there was Rabindranath to start with, who, along with Gandhi, was one of the great spheres of influence over him all through his life. He used to say that he was born into the yuga of Gandhi and Tagore. In his initial years, he was closer to Gandhi and his ideas and his programs. He knew him from a certain distance. Rabindranath he never met in person, but his life gravitated slowly towards Rabindranath as the years went on. And Rabindranath also, in a sense, pulled him to Shantiniketan and brought him into contact with three other people who contributed to his emergence as an artist. These were Ram Kinkar, Vinod Bihari, and Nandalal. I mentioned them here in that sequence because just as he moved from Gandhi towards Rabindranath, he also moved from the more flamboyant Ram Kinkar towards the more reticent Vinod Bihari and Nandalal as he evolved as an artist and teacher. Together, the three of them taught him, or perhaps helped him to find, discover many things that we see reflected in his work as an artist and a teacher. The sense of purpose and confidence that he exuded, a deep interest in the past, combined with the ability to work without being overwhelmed by it or becoming parochial, to see what was one's own very critically, not to shy away from considering what one considered one's own alongside world art traditions, to be always interested in what others, especially the young, were thinking about. All these, I am sure that those who have come close to him should have noticed, both in his work as an artist, teacher, writer, and above all to have a very large perspective on things and see the different aspects of art and social life in relation to each other. And in spite of all this, to remain intuitive and non-programmatic in his own creative world. As students and colleagues, many of us have had many occasions to experience all this in action without realizing what might have gone into the shaping of this highly gifted artist and teacher. He himself valued what he gained from his mentors and have on more than one occasion expressed his desire to be seen in line with them. But as I had suggested, he was not uncritical. He was not an uncritical follower. He subjected their positions to scrutiny in the light of his own understanding of other things. This made him someone who interpreted the legacy of these three stalwarts of Shantiniketan for our times. He sort of brought that legacy to Baroda. Of this, again, I shall not talk because I know many who will come after me are more qualified to speak to us about it. But I would like to talk about how we reintroduced this legacy to Shantiniketan itself. Post-50s, the legacy of the great masters of Shantiniketan had become either sacred relics, which one accepted uncritically, or rejected as dated and obsolete. Equally uncritically. Subramanian played a seminal role in making their legacy accessible to us. Especially to many of us like me, who had initially turned unbelievers of his legacy, and showed us how they still make sense and how we can draw on them. Many of us in Shantiniketan who talk of the forward-looking aspects of the old Shantiniketan masters do not fully realize that we owe our newfound enthusiasm to Subramanian. We expressed his personal gratitude to his mentors by quoting a story. I believe that he had recounted it here in Baroda on the eve of his departure from this university. I heard him repeat it once again when a student in Shantiniketan on the eve of his retirement asked him why he chose to return to Shantiniketan after many successful years in Baroda. The story, as I heard him say, is as follows. During the early years of Shantiniketan, Nandalal often took his students to Rajgir. On one such trip, somebody asked him why he came back to Rajgir again and again. And Nandalal said in reply that it was the thought of walking on the same ground as Buddha had once walked. Manida concluded his response to the student by saying, Shantiniketan was the place where three complete artists, and those were the words he used, I still remember, three complete artists lived and worked. And he returned there because he wished to walk on that ground. Now, I am sure that there will be a time that others, probably young people here today, will say that of this place, that this man walked here and we would like to walk on the same ground. Thank you.